If you are planning to create a website that is anything to do with Albion College, you can do that for free. All you have to do is visit a site that's called campus.albion.edu, and it is right here. And this is great for like student clubs, organizations. I know some people like to have an additional blog for maybe their department, so a biology blog, an education blog. There are definitely education blogs that have been created. So if that's something you like to do, or there are some courses that have blogs and they continue to use those blogs every year, every time the course is taught. To create that, you come to this page, and at the bottom here it says sign up now. All you have to do is click on that link, and it's going to ask you, what do you want to title this website? The title of your site will always have to start with campus.albion.edu. So our training site today is campus.albion.edu/Wordpress Training. Yours might be campus.albion.edu/biology blog. Okay, so keep that in mind. That is for on-campus hosting. Again, it's pretty simple. It's free. If you want to host off-campus, so if you're interested in creating a site just for fun, or your own kind of portfolio or something like that, you will first have to find a host. And basically what you're doing is you're paying someone to rent server space from them. You're paying for what's called a domain name, which is your URL. Okay, so campus.albion.edu, that's our domain name, but we own that. That's why we don't charge you if you're going to create an Albion-based blog. I have a personal website. It's called Noah Way Blog. That's my domain name. I pay for that. I pay monthly in order to have that. I rent server space. If at any point I stop paying them, my site will no longer be live, and it'll probably be a 404 error. Okay? So if you do want to host your own site, there are some great hosts out there. You're going to have to pay for them. These are just kind of the highly recommended ones. I'm going to assume you've heard of GoDaddy, at least GoDaddy commercials, because they do a really good job with advertising. I didn't put GoDaddy on the list. One of the complaints people have is that GoDaddy can put whatever advertisements they want up on your site. So not a lot of people like that. My personal website I have through Bluehost. At $7.99 a month, I pay for 2 years at a time. So I pay a good chunk up front, but then I have 2 years where I don't have to worry about anything. So you'll notice some of these will make you pay for the domain name. That's a yearly fee. So if I used HostGator, $12.95 once a year, I'm paying that to have my domain name, and I'm paying for the server space per month. Okay, but you notice per month they are a little bit cheaper than what I pay now. So it's really simple. If you want to have your own website, you start by researching a host. Find a host that you want and you're willing to pay for. Bluehost allows me to not have their advertisements on my site and provides security, which I like. Not everyone is going to do that. So you want to do your research and look into those. Okay. I feel like I had another thought with that. Let me see. All right, yes. Once you pick a host and you give them your money, they're going to have a button, and it's so easy. It's called one-click installation, and it's going to be a WordPress icon. And there are other programs out there like WordPress. WordPress is one of the most popular, but there are programs called Joomla, Drupal, things like that that other people are starting to use. You just click one button, and the next thing you know, you have a site. It's blank. It's going to say Hello World. It's going to look a lot like our WordPress training site without all the posts, and you have free reign to go in and start editing. So questions about that? Okay. So now we are going to kind of dive into making some changes to this site. So if you weren't, make sure you're looking at this dashboard. What I really like to do is make sure you see this upper black bar and then, of course, the menu bar along the left-hand side. I already pointed out this home icon. Make sure you're looking at the correct site. The other things I want to point out, in this left menu over here, we have an option for posts. If you go down a little bit, we have pages. We're going to talk about those today. If we have time, we'll get to appearance, and that's really about all we're going to get to. But those are the 3 most common elements in this menu. Now we're going to talk about posts, and we're going to create one. But if you look up in this top bar too, there's this little button up here that says Add New. That automatically will add a new post as well. So you can always click on Post to add a new one. You could always click up here, Add New Post. I want to show you the Post menu. So hover over the word Posts, please, and you're going to see a few options. It says All Posts, Add New, Categories, and Tags. Today we're going to ignore categories and tags because we're sticking with the basics. What I want you to do first is to click on All Posts. Now you might notice that I've led several trainings already. So when we click into All Posts, you can see every single post that has already been added to the site. You can see who wrote it. You can see the last date it was modified or when it was published. You have the ability to click into any one of these and edit it. Go ahead and try clicking into one right now. Somebody click into the first one. Oh, I like it because it's saying I'm editing it. I now can't log into that one. I could before, but the second someone logs in and is working on it and making edits, it's locked to everyone else who has access. All right. Well, this little icon popped up, so I could view, but there's also this little lock icon here that appeared. Okay. So yep, if I went in and I wanted to make some sort of change and I saw this little lock icon, I know that's it. I can't do that. And it says who's editing it. So if I have something that needs to be added, I know it says me, but that's Martha in the back. I could say, hey Martha, can you also edit this by adding this in, or this information in, please? Or I can wait till she gets out and go in and make the edits. If you entered into one, please click back on All Posts in your Post menu so that you're just looking at the list again. So it looks like we are in a bunch of them. And this time, in the Post menu, we're actually going to find the Add New button. Or you could click Add New on the top menu. You can choose, but I'd like everybody to click Add New right now. And this is the page you should be looking at. Anybody not looking at this page? Okay. I think some of this is going to be pretty straightforward. And actually, before I get into this, I apologize. Please stay on this page. What I want to do is I kind of want to see what the site looks like because I want to show you something on the site. And when I'm looking at the dashboard, I can do that at any point in time just by clicking up here at the name of my website. So I'm going to click on the name of my website, and you don't have to do this if you don't want right now. I want to show you the difference between a post and a page. So when you're writing a post, it is recent information. It is information that you would want to appear in a place of prominence, probably on your home page. You want someone, as soon as they come to the site, to see that piece of information. So this is our home page. When we first come to the site, this is what we see. And what you'll notice is this is the most recent post that has been shared. So some of us were just in it. Char's post, it was shared on February 8th. If I scroll down, I'll see everything that was posted just before that, on February 2nd, Kendra posted. Just before that, probably still on February 2nd, we had this pizza and fries post. Okay? So you can see the most recent. I have set it up so they're the 5 most recent, I believe. But you can change that to have 10, to have 20, whatever you want. Yeah, I know some of these are, you're going to get to create your own today, and it's probably going to be ridiculous, just so you're aware. A page is the type of thing you usually see in a menu. Okay? So an About Me page or a Contact page. It's static. It doesn't change. No recent posts automatically shoot it. You can go in and you can make edits as need be, but it stays the same, and you pretty much use it as a menu item. Questions about the difference between the two? Okay. So at this point, to get back to my dashboard, I click that same button again. And it takes me right back to my dashboard where I can then find posts or add new and do the same. So everybody still looking at this page? Okay. All right, the first thing you want to do is give your post a title. So if everyone please click in where it says add your title or add title here. And you can go ahead and call this whatever you want. When I tell the students, I tag that it needs to be appropriate, but I trust you guys. I'll title mine Sarah February 14. As soon as you have a title in, click off of that title box. I usually just click right back or right into the text box in the bottom. Did you notice anything when you clicked off of that text box? Ah, link, thanks. Right below your title, what's called a permalink appeared. And this is the official URL. If it didn't appear, you got to click off of it. Okay, it might be going slowly. It should appear at some point. This happened last time as well. I'm still going to talk about it. Okay. All right, this is the URL for this particular post. So if I just wanted to share this post and not my full website, I could copy this and send it to a person and say, here's my URL. But something to keep in mind, and this has gotten me in trouble before. Sometimes I forget to title it first, and I put content down here. And if I do that, it doesn't know where to send someone because it doesn't know the name of my article. The other thing I've done before is I've changed the title, and that will sometimes confuse WordPress. I'm just going to change this to my last name. So when I change that, my permalink does not change. So if I were to share this with someone, WordPress might get confused because they'll say, oh, I can't find Sarah Feb 14. I don't know where that is. So if you do end up forgetting to put in a title, or if you need to change your title, you also have to edit your permalink. You just click that edit button, and you just want to make sure it lines up with your title. So it will be Sarah-Noah now. I'll click OK. I like to bring that up because it's a question I get a lot with WordPress. So if someone will say, why is my link not working? That's usually why. And a big part of it is people forget to title before they put in the rest of the content. Okay. Did yours ever appear? No. Still not? Okay. All right. Well, we're going to plow forward and start adding in some content. So what I'd like you to do for just a moment is to, I'm going to minimize this, and you can minimize it as well. And all you want to do is copy the text from this document. And then I'm going to go back in here to my edit box. And actually, my edit box is actually in the wrong location. So I'm going to point this out to you quickly. Over here on the right-hand side, there are two tabs. One says visual, one says text. You want to make sure that visual is the one that is active. Text is all HTML coding. So if you like HTML coding and you ever want to do that, you can click in on text here and you can put coding in here. We're not going to do that. We're going to click on visual, and WordPress is going to generate the coding for us. So if yours was already on visual, great. It should default to that, but I actually do switch back and forth between text and visual. So now you can click in here with your cursor and paste the content. Most of you did it already. What do you notice? Yeah, the spacing looks kind of weird. Now, you want to be careful with that because every theme, or basically every look in WordPress, will do something different with your post. And after time, you'll get used to what your look does with your posts or what it makes bullet points look like or things like that. But we don't know this yet, and we don't know if it's going to show up with these spaces or without these spaces. So what I want you to notice is this box over here in the top right that says Publish. There are two very important buttons here. The first is Save Draft. I usually recommend as soon as you get content in, save draft. So let's do that now. You're actually going to be posting this at some point so you can see that process. So go ahead and save the draft. And then I'd like you to click on Preview. And it will open a new tab that's going to show you just your post. So you should see the title. It looks like this theme makes those spaces pretty noticeable. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to leave this tab up. You don't have to. In the future, if you want to see a preview again, you have to click the preview button again or this page won't change. But we're going to do a bunch of previews here in the next little bit, so I'm going to keep this open so that when I hit the button, I can just click in the tab again. Okay? So I'm going to go back to my post and just delete some of these spaces. While you're doing that, I want you to play around with some of these menu items that you have available to you. Do you have the same number of menu items I do? Most of you, I'm guessing, don't. Most of you might have this many right here. If you look for a little icon, and I don't know how to describe this besides I think it looks a little bit like a newspaper. It's called the kitchen sink. Doesn't look like a kitchen sink. It gives you more menu options. Toolbar toggle, is that what it says when you hover? Yep, toolbar toggle. And when you click on that, you'll get more options. Okay? So what I want you to do is with your cursor, go ahead and highlight any part of your text and then play around with some of these menu items. You have bold, you have italicize. I'm going to highlight the second paragraph and do that quote, block quote. You notice it took it in. I'm going to click preview again. Just kind of play around with these menu items. You notice what this did though. When I did the block quote, turned the text blue and pushed it in. That's different on every single theme. So in one of the themes that the students noticed, it pushed it in and it made it gray. All right, so it just kind of depends on what you're doing with your theme. You can also adjust the color. So highlight something with your cursor, find the A with a little down arrow, change the color if you'd like. Put mine at red. You can change the size if you want to make a header by clicking down on this paragraph button, heading 3. Now, these are not going to look exactly like how they look in this menu, so always preview that. Okay, this looks pretty good here. I did one where it ended up taking up a whole half of the post. So play around with some of those buttons, see what you're finding. Again, Nick's just ahead of everything. Okay. All right. You'll have the chance, your logins for this site are still going to work for about another 2 weeks. So if at any point you want to log in and continue to explore and play around with this, that would be a great time for it. What I want to do now is start adding some of these media elements. So we're actually going to start with a hyperlink. Does anybody know what a hyperlink is? Yeah. Good. You all were like, yeah, okay. So in order to hyperlink, we first need to go grab a URL for some sort of website. And I know I could type it in, but I'm going to get the albion.edu URL. You can get any URL you want. Again, make it appropriate, but I'd like you to have a URL available right now. And to create my hyperlink, I usually recommend you find a way to really incorporate it into your article that makes sense. So find a word or phrase that might make sense for this link. Now, our article doesn't necessarily relate to Albion, but I might say, thanks for visiting Albion College. That could be something I have in a post. And I want to link Albion College. So with my cursor, I'm going to highlight the part of the text that I want to turn into my hyperlink. So if everyone would do that with your cursor, highlight the part I want to turn into a hyperlink. And then In your menu, you're going to see two icons. One is a chain link, one is a broken chain link. You want to click on the chain link. Click on the chain link. And a box will appear where you can paste your URL. Please paste your URL in there right now. And all you have to do is click enter once you get it pasted. How do you think we test to make sure it works? Preview. There's one thing that I'm noticing when you're clicking in your links, your website is taking you directly to that other page. I'm not a fan of that personally. I prefer things opening in new tabs. I don't know about you. So I'm going to show you how to do that really quickly. All you have to do in your editor, I'm just going to click on Albion College. I'm going to click where my hyperlink is. And you will see when my link pops up, there's a little pencil. That's an edit tool. Click on that. Now, this looks familiar. Now there's this settings icon, which they call something else. Link options. Click on that. And I think you're going to probably find it pretty quickly. There's a little box here that says open link in a new tab. Check that box. And then click update in the bottom right. Now when you preview it, it opens in a new tab. So what I'd like you to do is in your text editor, I'd like you to click your cursor where you'd like to place a photo. Your cursor is really important in WordPress. Here's a tip. Don't ever place it in the middle of a paragraph. Okay? It's going to really mess up the formatting. Beginning or end of a paragraph is the best place to put it. Okay? So click your cursor in somewhere. I say that. I had somebody last time who didn't do it and then couldn't figure out why their picture wasn't added. So make sure you've done that part. And then there's this button on top of your editor and your edit buttons that says Add Media. Click that button. I think this is going to be pretty straightforward. Right now you have two tabs available. One is Media Library. These are all the photos that have previously been added to the site. If I were to click on one of them, it might have a caption in it because someone else uploaded that picture and gave a caption for it. Some of them don't. Okay, some of them do. It saves each one. You see there are doubles in here? They probably have different captions. What you want to do is click Upload Files. And this is going to be as simple as a drag and drop. So in the top right-hand corner, I'm going to click on the two little boxes. Is there a more profound term for that, Kurt?
Minimize?
Well, not the minimize.
Oh.
Because I thought
the
minimize
bigify.
was the minus.
Oh, yeah, right. Bigify small.
And I'm going to go back to that sample content folder that we have.
Oh, okay, gosh.
That's why I had you drag it to your desktop.
Mm-hmm.
And in that folder, there's another folder called Photos this time. And all I'm going to do is, once I find a photo I want, I'm just going to click on it, drag it, release. And the photo I just added should have a little check mark by it. Alright, the photo you just uploaded, make sure that you click on it again so that you see a blue box and a blue check mark around it. If I wanted to, I could add several photos. So if I wanted to add these, oh, nope, I can't right now. Never mind. Alright, we're going to add one photo. It wants you to add them separately. So make sure you're clicked on the photo you want. But before we insert it, we have more information we need to look at. So over here under Attachment Details,
click and drag that
Caption. I'm going to make you all put a caption in. Okay, it's going to appear at the bottom of your photo. Again, it looks different depending on your theme. Even if you type in this as a caption, I want you to type in something. I'm not going to put a caption in mine so you can see the difference between when we have a caption and when we don't. So if everybody would add a caption, please. Alright, so everyone should have given that a caption. We're going to ignore alt text for now. Description is really good, especially if you're doing some sort of like campus
Shows
hosted
come up
page.
with
In 10 years, do you want this site still running? And do you want anyone who clicks in to understand what was happening in a photo that happened 10 years ago? It can be very,
So
very
it's
helpful.
a description for you?
It's a description just for you. So anything you put in description doesn't show up on the website. It's just for your records, which is, again, really nice if you're going to have turnover. If you create any sort of like student club website or anything like that, that will be really helpful. I was working with the accounting club. They were looking at their site from 4 years ago, and they didn't recognize anybody and wanted to know what the pictures were. Nobody left a description. Okay, so they don't have information. You're gonna, if you haven't already, scroll down and you see attachment display settings. Alignment. Now you clicked your cursor where you wanted this picture to go, but now you can choose, do you want it to go on the left with text on the right? Do you want it to go on the right with text on the left? Or do you want it to go in the center with text below it? So I'm going to choose right for mine. You should choose left or center so you can see the difference. So in that drop-down menu, choose either left or center. I'll do right so you can see it.
I can't put it on the top? I'm just wondering.
If you do center, the text will go below it.
Oh, okay.
So next to size, depending on what photo you put in, it can have up to 3 size options, maybe 4. Thumbnail and full size will always be an option. If you take a picture with your camera and you upload that, it might be something like 1200 pixels. That is way too big. It will appear as 1200 pixels in your post. So you will have to make sure you don't click full size if you have a picture that big. You'll have more options in that case. Usually it has full size, medium, large, thumbnail. Okay, depending on how big the original picture is. I'm going to put in a thumbnail of this one. I'd like each of you to pick full size so again you can see the difference. Alright, and that's it. We have all of our settings now, so go ahead and click Insert into Post. And a picture should appear. Now remember, this isn't quite how it's going to look. So in my Publish box, I'm going to click on Preview again. Did your picture not appear? Oh, did you click on 2?
Yeah, I got the Eiffel Tower somehow. I couldn't.
So just something to keep in mind, if you do add a caption, it's going to frame your picture. If you don't, it's not. It's really easy to make a change if you don't like where your picture is located. So in the text editor, click on your photo, and immediately you have options to align it differently. So I can click on the Align Center, I can click on Align Left, decide if I like that better. If I'm not happy with the size, I want to click on the little pencil again, the Edit tool. And under Display Settings, next to Size, you have a new size option. It is Custom Size. This is one of my favorite things. So I will click in here and say I wanted it to be 200. When I type in 200, it automatically adjusts the height for me so you're not ending up with a warped photo. Okay? So sometimes the text and the photo just don't line up in a way I like, and I'm really picky about that stuff. This is my friend. Okay? And then you notice you also have an option down at the bottom under Advanced to open in a new tab. So if anybody ever clicks on your photo and you want that to appear in a new tab, you make sure you check that as well. Then click Update and preview it. So my size is now different. I made it bigger. I actually like that size a little bit better because I think it lines up better with my text. Okay.
And it looks like it opens the original image size when it opens in
Yes.
the tab.
So when I click on it now that it's a link, it's going to open the original image size. So if your original image size was 1200 pixels, it's going to appear as 1200 pixels. Okay. Good point, Kurt. Thank you. Alrighty. If you want to move the picture, say you don't like it being up here by this top text, you actually have to click on it and click the X button. You got to remove it. Go ahead and remove your picture right now. And then I want you to click anywhere else in the beginning or end of a paragraph. and it's going to be following the same steps. Click Add Media. Only this time, my picture and caption have been saved. So instead of inputting all of that again, I can just find the one that I just created. So mine didn't have a caption, so this one should be mine. Okay, the only thing is, if I did custom size, I'll have to adjust the size again. And then insert. And there it is, it's back. Okay? Questions? Alright, the last media element I want to visit is video. Okay? So, again, if you go to the sample content folder, there's a folder called video links. And they're in a document. I tried to use these because sometimes there are permissions errors. So if I were to go to YouTube and find like a Taylor Swift video, there might be special copyright issues with me sharing that video. So I might not be able to put it on my website. So these are instructional technology videos, so hopefully we don't have that error today. Some people did have that error before. All that you need to do is copy the link for the video. Now, I'll say this, some people have asked me, can I just put a video in WordPress like we did a photo? No. It is going to be way too large and WordPress won't be able to handle it. So if you're going to share a video, put it on YouTube first, have a YouTube channel, or find some sort of online medium other than WordPress for it first, and then you can add it in. So copy one of these links, and in your editor, click where you would like the video to go. So I'm going to click the end here, and all you have to do is paste your URL in. Oh, shoot. It's a sign that it might not be working right. For some of you, okay, that video should show up immediately in your text editor. Mine did not. Okay, so we've gone over the media elements. Here's what I'd like you to do. We are going to publish our content. I know, it's beautiful at this point, right? So I think you've probably figured out how to do this already at this point. In the top right-hand corner, that publish box, we've been using preview, so we know what our post looks like right now. I always say preview it one last time. We're going to post it anyway. So you will click on this publish button. So if everybody would please do that right now. Congratulations. If I go to the home page, which I'm going to do quickly here. Oh, come on. I go to the home page, I can now see the most recent posts. So somebody had Flim Flam Friday. Alright, disasters. Oh, those 3D prints. Okay, February 14th, Dargirl. Alright, so whoever this person is at the top, that was the most recent post. Alright, if someone else were to add a post here in a minute and I refresh the page, that's going to take the position of prominence, okay? Few things I want to point out. Once you publish, all right, I can still go in and I can change this. You might notice I can still preview, but it says preview changes. Okay, you want to see what you've changed and what you've adapted. Also, if you ever get yourself in trouble and post something you shouldn't have, it's happened. You want to find the status button. Click on edit and you can take it out of published and you can remove it from your site. Okay? So if you ever find yourself in trouble and you posted something you shouldn't have, you can change it back to a draft. It's off your site. Alright? The last thing then that I want to point out to you in 3 minutes is we worked on a post here. You've all posted a post. I'd like you to go to this menu and click on Pages, because I told you we were going to talk about Pages. And under Pages, I want you to click Add New. What do you notice?
It looks like
the other thing.
It's exactly the same process to create a page. We did talk about the difference, the post being most recent and appearing on the home page. A page being like your contact information or things like that. So this would be the title of your page that would appear in the menu or in the menu bar. And then down here would be the content of that page. And the same kind of deal. You can mess around with that. You can change what you need to change. Still have save draft, preview, publish. If I mess up, I can still unpublish it if I need to. All right. As you're playing around, feel free to play around with this. The thing we didn't really have time for was this Appearance tab. But I'll leave you with this. If you go into Appearance and Themes, you will see that currently this is the theme we have. And what you can do is there are a bunch of themes on the Albion campus.albion.edu site. And you can scroll down and you can pick one you think you might like and just click Live Preview. You're not actually changing the site. It's just showing you what this site would look like if that were your theme. Now, this one we'd have to add photos to a specific location, which we didn't really get to. So that probably won't look great for our site right now. So up here I can click this X button. I personally really love the theme we're in currently, but I'm going to say I like this pink one because it's Valentine's Day. So if I like one, I can click Save and Activate. And now all of you, if you click to look at the website, you should now see this wonderful hot pink site. Okay? So I can change the basic look of my site by choosing a theme. If you want to play around with that, go ahead. If the theme changes a few times, that's fine. I don't care. Take a look at what they look like and you can explore that. Again, you'll have access to this site for about 2 weeks. So feel free to go in and play around, and if you have questions, let me know.